This 2002 Monte Carlo SS has three things going on with it. We've got some funny tire wear on the left front. We've got a little bit of vibration in the steering wheel, and we're getting a little bit of CV joint clatter when we turn the wheels going into a parking lot. So we're going to fix that by replacing the left front wheel bearing and both CVs. So why both CVs? Because they were on a deal and they were 36 bucks a piece, and I said, why the heck not? At that price, I'll change them off. So let's dig in and get started. So first up, we're gonna take the hubcap cover, whatever you wanna call that, off. That's a 35 millimeter nut. Grab breaker bar, impact, whatever you so choose. I would highly recommend doing this before you jack the car up, because right now you've got the weight of the car to help you take it off. That took some work. Glad I have an impact. So let's get the car up on jacks and take those lug nuts off. So the next thing up is you're going to want to remove the brake caliper and the caliper carrier bolts that are back there. They're both conveniently 15 millimeters, so I'm going to knock those guys loose and move on to the next step. So now with the brake, rotor, and caliper out of the way, we have to dislodge the CV from the hub. So grab a dead blow hammer. Now, if you're going to use a metallic hammer, you got to be careful so you don't hurt the threads. Use a block of wood if you need to, but otherwise, just hit it. It'll start to come free. Saw it move there. Just like that. So first off, if you haven't done so already, squirt some penetrating oil here on these bolts just in case they're really nasty and corroded. Next up, this is a 21 millimeter. If you've got a deep socket, grab that, you're gonna need it. This side is an 18 millimeter, but it's not exactly a normal hex. It's just got two flats on it. That's an 18 millimeter. So grab your impact. Hopefully it fits. Yes, it does. That makes me feel good. So I'm gonna put a wrench on this side and impact this guy off. I'm going to use a hammer and knock those bolts out. Now with that, everything is pretty well free. Oh, well, I just popped the CV out of its socket back up there. That was fun. That's what that pop was. So now we're just going to take the hammer. Since we don't particularly care about this CV, we're changing it off anyways. There's that. Yeah, that's lovely. Set that down because we're not going to need it. And now we're going to grab the big pry bar and work on popping that free up there. That's going to take a little bit of work. There's a retainer clip inside the transmission, differential, pick your choice. It's all kind of the same at this point, and we're going to get that guy pop free. So let me think on that for a minute and figure out how to get it out. So I figured it out. I reached back through here with a pry bar, got under one of the little wings, and just pried it out. It took a little bit of hammering, a little bit of luck, a little bit of wiggling in, but now that CV is free and just slides out. Now, fair warning, have a drain pan underneath because sometimes fluid's going to drip out of those. So, that was a little bit of a workout. Now we're going to turn our attention to the hub. So right now you're looking at the back of the spindle, the hub, the knuckle, whatever you want to call it. There's an ABS connector right here. Just pop that guy free. There are three 13 millimeter bolts. There's one right up here kind of hiding in the shadows. Just knock those free and the hub, bearing, spindle, whatever you want to call it, is going to come free. So I'm over here on the bench. I've got the old hub out, and there is a little bit of bearing noise, crunchiness. You can kind of hear it there in the microphone. But in the new one, does turn nice and smooth. Here, listen. You don't even hear the bearing there. But always compare your old part to your new part. They both have the correct ABS ring, which is important on an ABS car. Everything looks like it's supposed to. The detents are the same. Everything looks right. So let's get the new one put back in the car. So I've got the CVs here. This is the old one obviously, and the new one, just making sure they match up lengthwise, you got the right part, because technically the passenger side is a little bit longer than the driver's side on this one. I've got the new wheel bearing, and the new CV is just down here on my left side. So I'm going to time lapse this. We're going to put it all back together. Remember, you do have the ABS pigtail. Make sure you get it in an orientation where it meets up, over here on the same side that, everything hooks back together. You do have the little bracket, which I spent a little bit of time to clean up. It just mounts on here like that, bolt everything together, and the connector has this nice little clippy deal that, holds everything together. So, time lapse, let's get this back together. Oh, one more thing. When you put the CV in, it just pushes straight in and clicks into place. There's a little detent ring up here, and it just clips in nice and neat. So, let's get to it. On the test drive, we're above the speed where it gave us trouble, and it's working good. So I did burn through the passenger side. It only took, a fraction of the time because I knew what all the sockets I needed were. So both sides are done. I'm back from the test drive. Everything went smooth. No pun intended. I mean, there was no vibration like it used to have. Above 55, it would practically shake your teeth out. But you know something? We're done. It runs smooth. Best thing to do is when you get back from test drive, come back, check your torque. I rechecked the torque on that axle nut. I'm torquing it to 120 foot-pounds. I believe the spec is around 118. 120 works. So everything's happy. The car drives like it's supposed to. And now I got to clean everything up. So there will be some links to things in the description. So that way you can see the parts I used, tools I used, that kind of thing. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you later.